Hello Internet, welcome back to Dice Dude on YouTube and more. Yeah, I'm never doing that again. But anyway, in today's video, we're going to be ranking every single FNAF character. Well, not every single FNAF character. We're excluding some of the endos and every single character from FNAF World, since they just don't really count in my mind. But anyway, let's get right to it. The first animatronic we are starting with is the original Chica from the first FNAF game. Now, personally, I think the design for Chica is pretty scary, but her mechanic itself and the way she jump scares you just isn't really that scary, so I'm going to put her up in pretty good. I might change it to peak later, but I think she'll stick in pretty good for now. Alright, now we got the original Freddy from the first FNAF game. So we're going to be jumping around from animatronics, just saying, since they're not in order. But Freddy actually doesn't really pose a threat in the first one for me because he just doesn't really show up that much. So I'm going to go ahead and put him probably in pretty good along with Chica. Yeah, I might move him later. I mean, I just don't really think he's a threat. Now, Foxy poses more of a threat in the later nights, so I'm just going to put him in okay for now. I don't really have that much to say about him. His jump scare is pretty predictable. His design's okay, but I personally think Withered Foxy is a better design. So let's get right on to our next animatronic. Alright, so now we have Bonnie from the first FNAF game. And Bonnie is, of course, my favorite out of every single animatronic in FNAF 1 because his jump scare, his design, the anticipation of the jump scare, everything, it's just so well done. And he's my favorite in FNAF 1. But I also think he's a fan favorite of most people for FNAF 1. And I get that because he just has such a good design. And yeah, so let's move on to our next guy. So as I said before, Withered Foxy is an upgrade from the FNAF 1 design, and his jump scare is way better because it's just very random, and I think the original Foxy's jump scare is somewhat predictable. So I'm going to move Withered Freddy up to pretty good along with Freddy and Chica. So yeah, I'm just going to put him in front of Freddy for now, but of course I might move him later. Then we got Withered Chica, whose design is sort of, I guess, better than the original Chica's design, but I feel like the eyes are definitely more menacing, but the design itself, I don't really like it that much, so, yeah. So now we're getting into some of the toy animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and for the toy animatronics, I just don't think they're really that scary because their designs are just too polished and not, like, damaged enough, like some of the Withers. Some of the Withers are too damaged, but I think the toy animatronics are just not damaged enough. Okay, so now we have Withered Bonnie, who is also from FNAF 2, and I really like how his face is, like, taken off, and I think that's pretty good. Again, he has, like, a good damage amount, not too much, not too, little, so I think his design is pretty good. I've seen some fan art with him, like, with a face, and it just doesn't look as menacing. I like the red eyes. It's really good. I don't think I like it as much as the original Bonnie's design, but it's still pretty good. And now we have Withered Freddy, whose design is definitely the most iconic out of every single Withered animatronic in FNAF 2. Now, I think his jump scare and overall mechanic is better than the original Freddy, but you just can't beat a classic with the original's design. His eyes might be more menacing, but you just can't beat a classic. Sorry about that, but I forgot Golden Freddy, who was in the original FNAF game, so I will be going in order from now on. So, although Golden Freddy is just a reskin of the original Freddy, I still think he's a pretty cool character due to his mechanic, and just tease that he seems more like a ghost character than the other animatronics, so yeah. Withered Golden Freddy's pretty much the same, so I'm just going to put him right behind Golden Freddy. Alright, so now we're getting into the first of the toy animatronics in FNAF 2, starting off with Toy Bonnie, who is definitely the least scariest animatronic in FNAF 2, or in any FNAF game in total. I just think his design looks too polished and is not intimidating at all. So now we have the puppet, or more commonly known as the marionette from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I think the marionette is definitely one of the most unique animatronics and most unique designs. I really like the character, so I'm going to put him in pretty good behind actually in front of Withered Fox. Yeah, I might change him later. I don't know. Up next, we got Shadow Freddy, who's definitely the most underrated animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and possibly all of FNAF. He's one of my favorite designs, and I just think he doesn't get that much time to shine. He's such a great character, so I'm going to put him up in probably pretty good. I might actually put him in okay, just because like his screen presence isn't really that good. Yeah, I'll put him above like all these guys. Now Mangle is an odd case because she's or he's I don't really know the gender, but she's always kind of reminded me of Funtime Foxy for some reason. Her design is mid, like I guess it's a toy animatronic, but I'm not a huge fan of it. It's okay, so I guess I'll put it in okay, along with Withered Golden Freddy and Golden Freddy. I'm actually going to put him in front of Withered Golden Freddy because I don't like him that much. Last but not least for FNAF 2, we have Toy Chica, who is definitely a step up from Toy Bonnie, but is, again, too polished to look scary. I like how her eyes change, but that's kind of it. The first of the Phantom animatronics in FNAF 3 is Phantom Mangle. I don't really like Mangle's design in FNAF 2, but I think Phantom Mangle is a step up. So now I'm just going to put the rest of the Phantom animatronics in pretty good, along with Phantom Mangle. They're not too good, they're not too bad. I think they have good character designs, besides Springtrap, who I think should go in peak, because his character design is just so iconic, and I love his backstory. Phantom Freddy also deserves to go in peak, along with what's his name, Shadow Freddy, and I hate Balloon Boy. Alright, so now we're getting into the first of the Nightmare animatronics, which are probably the best and scariest animatronics in every single Five Nights at Freddy's game. Starting off with Plush Trap, who is okay, so I'm going to put him in the okay section above Mangle, Golden Freddy, and, not Toy Freddy, but I'm just going to put him there and move Toy Freddy up a bit. So now we have Nightmare Freddy, who is absolutely amazing. I'm putting him in peak. Nightmare Bonnie goes in peak. Nightmare Mariano I just put for fun in peak. Nightmare Fredbear peak. And Nightmare Chica peak. These are all amazing, really scary. The first time I got jump scared by them, I nearly peed my pants. It was insane. I love all of these guys. They're amazing. So now we have all of the sister location animatronics, which I think are mediocre compared to the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 animatronics, but still pretty good. Starting off with Ennard, who, I mean his design's okay. I don't really like the clown mask that much, but he's still an okay character. So I think I'll just, I think I'll put him in okay for now. I'm not really going to move him up because I don't really like his character that much, but yeah. So now we have Funtime Foxy. Again, Funtime Foxy's design looks too much like Mangle for me. So I think I like it slightly better because it's more like organized, and I think it looks pretty cool and futuristic. So I'm just gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in okay, along with Toy Chica. So yeah. Now we got Funtime Freddy, who is definitely my favorite animatronic in Sister Location, so I'm going to put him in peak. Yeah, his character design's so good that I'm putting him in front of some of the nightmares, and that's how you know you did a good job. I personally don't think it's as scary, but still a great design. Now we got whatever the hell this thing is. I'm going to put him in bad because he just looks like Balloon Boy. He's basically Sister Location Balloon Boy. I hate him. Now we got Circus Baby, who is what Sister Location gets recognized for, so I'm going to put her in okay. I don't really like her that much. Yendo is basically the Terminator ripoff of Sister Location, and not very iconic on his own, but I still think his design's like mediocre, so I'm going to put him in pretty good. Yeah, I might move him later, because it's unfair to be better than Circus Baby. But I think he's less iconic, but has a better design, if you know what I'm saying. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, we have Scrap Trap, who is the best out of every single animatronic here. He's better than Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Bonnie. All those guys are terrible compared to him. I hate Bonnie compared to... I'm kidding. I'm putting him in Scrap Trap. There's a whole section based on his name. Yeah. Alright, Rockstar Foxy's design is mediocre. Same with Rockstar Chica. I actually like Rockstar Freddy's design more. And Rockstar Bonnie's design is probably my least favorite Bonnie design. So I'm going to put him in okay. All the Rockstar designs just look too polished for me and not damaged enough. The FNAF 1 design does a good job looking like you could approach it as a real animatronic, but again, Withered Golden Freddy looks like too damaged. I think Trap is a perfect representation of good enough damage. So I'm going to move a Funtime Freddy, so now we have Lefty. I actually like Lefty more than some of you guys would think, so I'm just going to put him in okay. He's pretty hated, but yeah, I'm actually going to put him in pretty good. Scrap Baby is a huge step up from Scrap Trap. I think her design is way better than his. His is terrible. Yeah, I'm just going to put her in okay. Her design's like, I guess, more menacing than Circus Baby. So now we have the Security Breach animatronics. Again, pretty much all these Security Breach animatronics just don't look that scary because they're too polished for me. I mean, their designs are cool as, like, not scary animatronics, but, like, when you're trying to be scary, they just don't look that good. And it's not just me. A lot of the fan base don't think they're that scary. I think I'm going to put them all in okay. Vanny, or whatever her name is, Glitch Trap, is actually more scary than most of them. I think Shattered Freddy has a really cool design, so I'm also putting him pretty good. Glamrock Freddy, I have like nostalgia from him for some reason, but now I just like don't like him that much. He's okay. I'm putting him in pretty good along with Shattered Freddy, but Shattered Freddy has a way scarier design than him. And last but probably least, we have Montgomery Gator, or whatever his name is. Again, I think his design is too polished and not scary enough. I mean, his jump scare is definitely probably the best out of all of them, but again, his design is just not that scary. So I'm going to put him in okay along with the other Security Breach animatronics. Alright, I really hope you guys love my Five Nights at Freddy's ranking character tier list, or whatever the hell I want to call it. I definitely missed a lot of characters, and just now I'm realizing I missed Vanny, and she's the only character I didn't intend to miss. I missed a lot of the Endos, a lot of the UCN animatronics, including Jacko Chica, and every single one of those. I just included Nightmare Miriam because I wanted to, because I just think that's a really cool animatronic, and I think that it deserves to be in this ranking. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this ranking. If you wanted me to do like a part 2 that has the rest of the animatronics, just let me know in the comments down below.